OhManPodcast. Show get.
Welcome back to the studio.
And for those that are listening, that is the so-called intellectual juggernaut.
Not the so-called.
But now it's just a nut. Now, your boy's back. They try to cancel me out. The forces that may be. But man, boys, being sick is not the one. Like this, what are you doing? What are you actually doing?
I'm just interacting with the fans.
By taking off your jacket?
What? No, bro, it's not that kind of a show. Come on, man.
So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Listen, you need to focus on continuing this introduction.
There you go. Anyways, it's not. I can't concentrate with this guy.
With me? Or this guy? Alright. Oh, cool. We back.
I actually hate you.
No, you don't. You love me.
But boys, did you miss me? You guys were saying a lot of shit last week. You guys were saying, oh, fuck the rules and all that. Now I'm back. What do you have to say?
What do you have to say?
Welcome back. What else could I say, you know?
But what about the rules?
That depends on you, man. Listen, last week, the power that was given to me was, what else could I do but to abuse it? You know, you understand? But now that you're back in the hot seat.
I thought I could, you know, because you know, you had pressures on. And when I was listening back, I was like, damn it, when are you going to tell this boy to wrap it up? But you said fuck the rules, so you set that precedence. But hey, I know you wish me well. He wished me well. You know, he checked up on me and all that, but I just had to come at you because I don't like all that.
Listen, at the end of the day, forgiveness, you know, is the thing that you should be aiming for, you know, because at the end of the day,
I like when this guy now switches up when he, to be a good.
We have to thank God
boy
for your health because, you know, if not for him.
But anyway, Sam, why are you quiet? Because you are the reason we're late and we're agitated. Why were you late?
To all my fans across the globe, I apologize for this mishap. I'm a strong advocate for anti-African time, and here I am being guilty of the same. We all make mistakes.
Some say you're not even African, you're Dutch.
Some say, you know what, your cousins have been accusing me of that shit. Like, especially that Darren one. She's been calling me white, and I don't know how to feel about that, but she has a point. But speaking of what you guys are talking about, forgiveness, I'm thinking about starting a forgiveness ministry. That's a sad. Sorry, guys.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
I don't know. I just want to.
Does that mean you have the one sermon every week?
No, I want to like.
I don't know what is happening here.
Like a Bible study group with the lads. This is literally the first time I'm talking about it with anybody.
Elaborate.
Right, with you guys, right? You know, talking about the concept of forgiveness. I feel like our generation has just forgotten about that entirely.
I kind of hear that in a way, you know, because there's a lot of grudges, especially in, I don't want to say the streets or like the so-called wider society of that range. Like there's a lot of there's no forgiveness as easy as it comes. Do you know what I mean?
Animosity out there, is it?
Like people hold on to beef too much, or like they take things too personal in a way. Like
beef is almost romanticized, to be honest. There's a whole.
It's entertaining though.
Yeah, it is entertaining. That's the problem. But there's utility to forgiveness.
So where were you going with your forgiveness ministry with us? Like I have shit I need to forgive you for, but like
got shit I need to forgive everybody for. I think it's just a sense of like healing and letting go. To be honest, there's a lot of people I have personal resentment for, and there's a lot of people I think have resentment for me, and I think it comes from a place of immaturity or misunderstanding, right? And I mean that on either party side. Anyway, it's a whole discussion that I think.
Do you know what you sound like?
You sound like is ready for.
No, sorry to cut you short. I'm not sorry actually, but see the way like people go to prison and like they do all the bad shit, and then they now say like, you know what? Let's forgive because you know.
You're saying the man had an epiphany in prison. Nah, you're outrageous for that claim.
So there's allegations here. Are you gonna deny them?
Listen, first of all, I've not been to any prison of any kind, but I suppose life is a prison of sort.
Anyways, back to what we were saying. Forgiveness ministry. Why?
I just think that is what our generation is calling for at this moment in time.
Who's our generation when you talk about generation? What's
just
the age
our age?
Because I'm seeing now Twitter again has divided under 25s now are a thing. and there was Gen Z and Gen X. I don't know what category that is, but now I'm seeing different generational like distinctions. So
it's hard to define a generation. I mean, there are these generalizations, but the generations kind of blend into each other. My sister, who is 21, is technically a millennial because she was born in 99, but she's nothing like me. She's nothing like, you know, the women of my generation.
What does that mean?
She's nothing like the women of my generation.
She
has a different mindset. She has a different generational mindset than. She has a different attitude towards life and different outlook towards life than. She's a lot more actually embedded into the internet than anybody that we know anyway as peers.
To be fair, there's a lot of he's raising some valid points in terms of forgiveness. Like we're about to mention cancel culture, the culture that we've developed of once you commit a crime, that's it, you're done. Out here, especially in the social streets, it's always different on the real streets.
But we've had conversations where, you know, some of the situations weren't that, or at that time did. But I know he's coming from a place of reflection where, like, okay, I could have handled that situation better, and you have reoccurring thoughts like that, and sometimes you don't see that in the moment, or you don't want to see that in the moment, and I feel like that's what is happening a lot in our culture, especially when you talk about sexual misconduct and racism and stuff like that, the real stuff.
Yeah.
When someone says something to you, you're not gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna forgive you now. You're hurt, and then that hurt lingers, and then some people feed on that lingering. So that's why I'm like, yeah, we can. It's a good like initiative, or it's a good thought, but like in practical wise, how are you going to deliver that type of like, if someone did that and you're saying forgive?
Look, at the end of the day, like kind of like this podcast in a way, it's for whoever wants to hear it. Do you get me? That's what it is at the end of the day. You know, I don't really know how I'm going to go about it. This is the first time I'm mentioning it. I'm literally fleshing it out with you guys as we speak. But I think it's not just about forgiving someone and saying, oh, I'm going to give them another chance. You don't necessarily need to give somebody another chance when you forgive them. But there's something about having resentment in your heart that prevents you from healing properly if somebody's hurt you. That's kind of also another element to forgiveness, is like letting go of things for yourself, you know?
So it's more for like yourself than more the other person, is it?
Yeah, it is.
If you're that type of person that wants to hear that message. Anyways, how you been? It's been a while. Welcome back. You see, we upgraded. We got some stuff here going on.
Got lights.
We got 2 cameras going on.
What's up?
This is what you're missing.
Feels like I'm in heaven. I'm ascending. But I've moved to Dublin. I suppose if there's anywhere to start, that's where to start. You know, change of scenery, change of pace. It matters.
How are you finding Dublin from the quiet life in Drogheda?
It's different. In Dublin, people are 10 times nicer and 10 times racist, depending on who you come across.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Everything in the city is enhanced.
There's a mix. There's a good mix of it.
Yeah, you know. Shops, lots of shops in the proximity. That's very good. That's
options.
Great. Yeah, options. I other than that, I can't really say much because I haven't seen much.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I've known from over the years, but we're still locked down.
Fam, so we're still out here.
Yeah.
Well, just decided to do a quick catch up because this guy has been MIA for God knows how long.
You know what it is.
We're back on this episode to talk about a few things. First of all, did you see the car chase that happened in Ballymun? Oh, on the M50 to Ballymun? No. Basically, this girl decided to do GTA with police.
A girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah. Why were you so
Can't
surprised?
women commit crimes? Huh? Why are you so shocked, bro?
I mean,
she was in a white Mercedes. Oh. She had 20, 30 guards chasing her down. It started at 5:55 to about 6:50.
What day was this?
During the week, yeah, Tuesday.
Mad.
It's a good way to start the month. No? But no.
Okay. How did it end?
She just drove to Ballymun.
Jumped her.
And the way it even happened is like she got out of the car. she did like a Jesus. She got out of the car and was like, and then one guard came, then another guard came, then another guard came like to just handle her. I'm like, is that what you guys are training for? Is that the training, lads?
She came out alive, and she
Where was the
should be
armed
grateful,
support unit?
because the way this thing escalated, from what I read, is it's like something out of actual GTA. It went from no stars to 5 stars real quick. She was on the motorway, I think, or within.
She was Instagram live,
but she missed the check. Well, there was a checkpoint, and she just drove past them. And then there's one car became 2. And I'm seeing some undercover units joining. And before you know it, it's up to 20 cars apparently.
Oh, God.
And there's a helicopter being deployed from the armed support unit to chase one woman. But she was taking the piss. She was on social media recording it as well.
Oh no, Lord!
Saying F guys and them things like that.
Oh no!
She was playing music and chilling.
Oh yeah, she was playing Westlife.
Oh my God, no Westlife! I thought she'd be playing some gang shit.
No, but
she's repping. She's gonna play the script.
We're gonna have a conversation one day about like how crime is adjudicated, or how would you say handled when it's different minorities that's involved, right?
Yeah.
But that's not something you expect on a Tuesday, like to see. And then when you see like how it de-escalated, you're like, is that it? So and he brought,
it was anticlimactic in the end.
Brought up a good point. Like if you're on the motorway doing that kind of like stuff, that's dangerous driving. So you're harming people in the ways. Like thank God no one was hurt or anything like that. But the way it was so anticlimactic. It's like, really? Someone put up a point like,
it's the way it's even been underreported. Like you didn't see much about it in the news, or it's like
it was more on Twitter that you saw it,
bro.
I didn't even hear
Twitter
until
it wasn't front page news or nothing.
And she'll probably quietly go to court, quietly get a slap on the wrist, and quietly come home.
Quietly get a quick fine.
Imagine today. Imagine that's
why would they chase her
past
just because of the checkpoint?
In your car, black and black.
2 helicopters for you.
McMill. This guy dropped a bar that didn't go down well.
Oh Jesus!
And you know who McMill is?
Oh Jesus!
But yeah, so let's get into it. Like, controversial or not? Whoa, why is everyone looking at me?
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
We are waiting for you to
call out the bar. We're waiting for you to call out the bar, bro.
Yeah, but you didn't hear the bar yet.
No, I've heard it, but
okay, yeah.
What did he say? I want to know. What did he say?
Say something about getting to the chopper or no Kobe or something like that.
Oh,
but I need to hear the proper bar.
You referenced it.
It's too soon.
If you want to reference Kobe, you reference in terms of like what his playing days.
In respect, reverence.
Not his death.
But he referenced like what do you call it? He might take somebody out or whatever it is and take it out like his Kobe or whatever. Take a chopper.
Yeah, he said, and if I ever lie, I'm going out my chopper, it'll be another Kobe. Hey! Disrespectful, but
yeah,
and controversy sells.
And it is disrespectful because not disrespectful.
sells.
Yeah, it is disrespectful, but it is rap because how many times Lil Wayne referenced Kurt Cobain and blowing his brains out?
like, I'm going blind. No Stevie Wonder.
That's rinse. They're playing on the mat. Like, I guess because it's so early and everybody is still inside. Someone raised that point. Yeah, it's a year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people like that don't even listen to rap or like Meek Mill. They're like, hey, fuck. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I mean,
Rap
on the flip
or
side,
insensitive?
On the flip side, everybody's talking about him. We're talking about his new song, and this new song is
I don't think it's that deep. I best it's insensitive, but you move on. It's there. The label's not going to take it down.
Yeah,
I swear.
The label checked it out and was like,
we're good. We run with it.
happy. Oh,
this might be good.
Someone signed up like
proofread the lyric.
They probably even added a few lyrics to it as well. But
it keeps Kobe's name alive,
Yeah, and there will be a moment again.
No, in that way.
Some people will take it personal. I think if you're a basketball fan, if you were definitely a Kobe fan, this is not for you.
Do women have more money than men?
Like what overall in terms of like all the women in the world versus all the men in the world, or like society terms, like within the Eurozone?
I like how you're giving me definitions.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one
Is it
overall.
overall no?
No. Okay, that's fair, right? Now, what was the second one you said?
Like society wise, like
Society-wise.
Across the median. Maybe.
Society-wise, if you look at it now, society-wise,
it's very hard to call, but I think they have come a long way in terms of defining their own independence. I don't think that there's too many of them that are in positions where they're unable to secure a certain type of salary or a certain type of profession, because the majority are educated to an overwhelming degree. So in terms of being qualified, they are, I don't know, maybe in the last 10 years, 15 years, they may have out-qualified men in terms of securing in academia, but translating into salary and earnings, I think the reason why we're still having the whole gender war, gender pay disparity is because they're still not being recognized in their fields to be earning the same as men. So as a whole, maybe in corporate society, no, but maybe middle class.
I'll stop you there. Sam, go on.
It's a tough question. It's a tough question to answer, because
bear in mind, I still have a follow-up question, because I'm just going off what you gave to me, right? So in society-wise, and I think you mentioned median. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough question to answer, because I mean, it depends on what sector. You get me? If you break it down by sector, men and women are making on average more or less the same, and the only reason why men are even making slightly more is there's a bunch of super nerdy douchebags out here like Bezos and Musk, just trying to make billions out here.
Yeah, but then you have
skewing the average.
You have Bezos' wife, who's then now acquiring wealth.
Yes, So I think it is getting. I don't know. I don't want to speak without empirical evidence, but I think it is getting better. There is definitely a concerted effort to get women more into them positions of, promotion, and trying to get them to progress their careers. Like Dami said, in terms of academia, women they're doing better. They're doing good. You get me? Yeah.
Now, the reason why I asked that question is I saw something on Twitter where the whole we've passed that stage of like men have to earn a certain amount before we can date them, and the whole narrative of broke niggas don't get pussy, stuff like that. But I'm seeing now there is a little bit of disparity in how if men are earning more, they're definitely not saving more, or they're not wealthier more. Women are smarter with their money. No matter how much they earn, they always seem to have more than men. In what I've seen, or in the scenario that I've seen. And I thought about it. I was like, when you start deep in it, the amount of people now that are kind of, acquiring, buying houses, acquiring mortgages, buying nice, like bigger cars, better cars, you're seeing that it's more women, and you're like, yes. But, they don't always show that. But you see men in the sense that, like, I don't really see that same kind of wealth creation almost. And even if you see the businesses that have been booming or growing in the last couple of months, it's predominantly women, and the quality is much better. So in terms of the wealth creation, I think women actually are earning more, or how will I say, doing better in that regard than men. What do you guys think?
I think I agree to a degree.
They're more creative with revenue streams in terms of using either their talent or passion to also create wealth. So they're supplementing traditional income.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Sit there.
Misalignment was bothering me for like 30 minutes. You too. I couldn't. It was driving me nuts.
Thank you. I might even push it out a little bit. Who do you think you are?
Okay.
But anyways, so Sam, you're a dad actually. We're there chatting away. We're there chatting away. I swear. I only found out like 6 years ago. 7 years ago. But yeah,
nearly 8, bro.
We're talking about now how the guidelines that were set out, that we could have set out, and things like that. As a parent, what would you say is the best thing about like being a parent? And obviously, do you think you're gonna make some of the same mistakes, or Bella will look at you the same way you might look at your friends? Like that reoccurrence. Do you feel like that you might ever get to that stage?
I think the risk of that happening is actually at the forefront of my parenting strategy, right? So I'm prepared that one day she's going to be a teenager. She's going to have a lot to say. I have to do what my parents didn't do for me. Listen to her and explain where I was coming from. And, you know, if I effed up, I'm just going to have to apologize for that, you know. You know, what's the best thing about parenting? It's just watching them grow, to be honest. Yeah. And they're monsters, you know. They are very clever. And watching them, you know, learn about the world, about social interactions, you know, just educating themselves, especially educating themselves on their own. The things that they say to you, it just blows your mind sometimes. You know, it's a joy to watch them, you know. It's a pain as well because if they, you know, kids do hurt you. You know, they hurt you on an emotional level sometimes with the things they say and the things that they do, especially if you give them a specific instruction and then they do the opposite then it ends up backfiring on them or on you. That shit hurts, you get me? Learning to restrain yourself, that's been a challenge, but I'm getting there.
Restrain yourself in what way?
Restrain yourself from
overreacting.
Hammer down. From letting the fam you know, I don't.
But that's a testament.
It's like,
you know?
I can be you, you know.
Yeah.
Don't tell her that. Don't tell her that.
I swear.
Fuck you up. I'm your dad, but I'm playing.
Oh my god. You know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, having a kid.
Would you like see how we're talking about? Would you ever sit down one day and just say, you know, one day I put one of my boys' head through a window, and I used to ride around with baseball in the car. Would you ever tell her those escapades?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait till she's mature enough for me to tell her all them things. I'll
really?
tell her everything, of course.
No, is there like anything that would be off limits? Are you gonna, not off limits, but obviously you're gonna be as honest as you can be with her, is it?
I think the only thing that's off limits is some of the finer details of my sexual escapades. I would tell her actually about a lot of the, you know, relationship situations that I got into, but obviously there's a limit to how far you can go.
But he will be real, and I think you're saying that basically she will know who her dad is,
exactly,
what his past is. It won't be a case of I don't really know what my dad was like when he was young.
Exactly,
like, she'll get the full picture.
You won't give her
and
doubt.
Unfortunately, these uncles too, provided are still in your life. The images we're gonna paint are your past.
No, we're actually documenting this for her.
The real details will be, you know,
we'll put it in the capsule.
Yeah. And look, I think those details they matter. You get me? Life is not simple. Life is nuanced. Life is just not black and white. Like it's been painted for us. You know, like have you guys ever told your parents, have they ever told you about the story of how they went to school and they used to trek over the mountain and across the river?
Yeah.
Fam, it's such an unrealistic. It's kind of I don't know why they paint themselves in such a wonderful light. You understand? We don't know. What did they struggle in school? Were there things that, you know, did they get bullied? Were they the bullies?
They never expanded on
and all those finer details we could have learned from them.
Didn't get to help us on our own.
We did, you know. So
we learned too.
All I can do is use my experience from my time with my parents, you know, and see what I hated, what I loved, what I regretted, what I felt like I needed, and try and do that for my kid. And that's all I do. If I tell you that, I know what I'm doing. We shall see.
Damn, what type of dad do you think you be?
I think I'll be lit. No, that's too vague. Well, I think I want to have a close relationship with my child, in the sense that obviously it's when they can start speaking English, you know, that I would properly want them to get to know me. Like, I would want to teach them to be very expressive of their thoughts, whether it comes to dealing with me as the parents or whatever it is that they might be dealing with externally. I want there to be that natural kind of just mood set that, you know, if you want to tell me this, you know, I'm not going to
castrate you,
lambast you for. Nah, we're gonna talk about it. If you're wrong, like, you're gonna get these words of, you know, disapproval and
get these hands if maybe.
But like, we're gonna talk through more. But yeah, in terms of being that, I want them to experience life and to not be fearful, to feel like, you know, they can be anything or do anything. I think that's the type of dad that I would want to be. more of an encourager and supporter. I want to be the biggest fan.
I think a lot of us are gonna have similar.
I love that.
Yeah, like we're all gonna have similar like methods because I feel like our experiences were mixed. But I'm the same. Like I have to be hands on. Straight away, I'm gonna have to realize their potential, whatever it is. Just maximize it. Projects everywhere, bro. each and every whatever one of them.
I feel for this guy called his children projects. This guy,
but the thing is, if you're a parent, you have to not plan, but like whatever faceted they may come up with, just give them the best tools and the best whatever resources that they need to thrive under. And you see, and it's not even like pressure thing, is like you just have to constantly communicate with them because you're seeing all these athletes and superstars and all these people in the world, they did have human parents behind them. Like
most of them were sent to school as well, especially these new gen kids. Fuck.
Like, and they went to like business school and law school, so they're like equipping themselves to help their kids. So it's it's a win-win situation. So I feel I'll be the type to be a little bit intentional with my parenting, like hands-on, not hands-on, but like be your best friend, that type of thing, role model, someone that you can come to. Like Dami said, that almost no situation will be off limits, and we'll handle it and talk. But I think we have to be almost set out to kind of, like you said, guidelines, kind of envision it. You don't even have to write it like proper, but just have that thought process. But yeah, man, I think I'm going to be a lit dad. Like Dami said, we're all going to be lit dads.
So,
I think the way relationships have been described to us sometimes is just, it's not been realistic enough. Like,
thank you.
In terms of like, this,
you will fight.
What, like the vision and the hope is that, you can just naturally love and live with someone for 50 years and grow old together. How the hell do you think you're going to go 50 peaceful years with no war?
You have to be mute.
It's unrealistic because when you're in proximity with people, regardless of how close or how friendly you are, eventually you will have a disagreement or two, depending on the amount of time you spend together. The less time you spend together, what would you have to argue about? But when you're constantly around each other, whoever it's with, whether it's this partner or
not add a few children into the mix, a few mortgages.
The thing that what you want to get out of it, or that will separate, who you should be with, is where the understanding and the communication and evolution from whatever it is that causing arguments comes from. If there's natural steps to diffusing situations involved with the person you're with versus someone that doesn't care to diffuse a situation.
You know what annoyed me so much? What? During this coronavirus period, people be treating, if you and your partner broke up during this period, you're not meant for each other. I'm like,
that's so dumb. You're seeing parts of them you've never seen before.
No, that's dumb. That's dumb.
But that's where, to bring it full circle of what Sam was saying, the forgiving culture of like, okay, you don't even have to forgive, but open communication of like, okay, if you offend me, especially when you're in a relationship, that I can forgive you. But I don't know, maybe some people's not forgiveness span, but as the offenses keep mounting, maybe the offenses keep getting more than what that other person can take.
Yeah, and
that's a different.
Well, no, it's not that we're going to encourage staying in a situation. It's not that we're encouraging staying in a situation that doesn't work for you. If naturally someone is more of a negative influence in terms of like how they're affecting you, then more time you should leave the relationship. But if the positives outweigh what you claim to be the negatives, and that's something you don't think is worth fighting for, then listen, if you find the perfect man or woman, shout out to you, because I don't know what the hell that's going to look like.
That's an actually nice way to put it. Maybe just unrealistic expectations in human beings.
Yeah, and it's good to have standards and things that you tolerate, what you won't tolerate. But at the same time, if you can't compromise and have compassion, then hey, it
is what it is. Yeah. All right, that was a nice little end to that. I like that, boys. We're being efficient after somebody was late for eating too much and he slept.
Keep warning you about this Tunde, but you're gonna get it right.
Follow us out on socials on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, and Facebook. I think I got everybody.
All the socials.
And Facebook. Yeah, where we are. On my podcast, we out.
We'll never impose ourselves upon any other country. our equal, because we honestly feel that it is only on that basis of equality that peace can be maintained in our continent.